May 2025 is packed with exciting new single-player games for PC, Xbox, and PS5. In this video, I'm showcasing some upcoming releases, not ranked in any particular order, just a list of games you'll want to keep on your radar. I might have missed a few releases, so feel free to mention any others in the comments. Now, starting off with the first one on our list is Elden Ring Nightreign. Jumping into Nightreign for the first time, it's clear this isn't the slow, methodical Souls experience people might expect. You don't make a custom character or spend forever picking stats, you just pick a Nightfarer and get moving. Leveling is automatic, the action kicks off fast, and the whole thing feels way more like a co-op brawler mixed with a bit of battle royale. You drop into a remix of Limgrave, clear out mobs, grab loot, and sprint toward boss fights, while a shrinking circle pushes you along. It's faster, it's lighter, and yeah, it's probably going to upset some longtime Souls fans, but for a lot of people, it's gonna be a blast. What's cool is how much of the classic From Software combat made the jump. Fighting still feels tight and heavy, just without the pressure of perfect builds. You can grab new weapons on the fly, experiment with spells, and worry less about the right way to play. It's a fun change of pace, but there are trade-offs. The map is a familiar Limgrave remix, and after a few runs, it can start to feel a little samey. There's no real hub where you and your friends can hang out before missions either. Plus, during our hands-on, a few connection drops reminded us that smooth multiplayer has never been FromSoft's strong suit. Still, there's a lot to like if you come in with the right expectations. Nightreign moves quick, hits hard, and doesn't bog you down with menus or stat screens. It's not about slow discovery or deep world building like the original Elden Ring. It's about teaming up, smashing bosses, and chasing that next weapon upgrade before time runs out. It's not trying to replace the main game, and it's definitely not for everybody, but as a $40 standalone launching May 30th, it's looking like a really fun side adventure. Moving up next, we have Doom: The Dark Ages. Going hands-on with the game feels like stepping into a heavy metal album cover that's come to life. But it's not just the wild dragon rides or the towering mech battles that stand out. Right away, the game throws a saw-toothed shield into your arsenal, giving combat a whole new weight. Instead of endlessly sprinting and double jumping, there's a big focus on standing your ground, parrying attacks, and even throwing the shield like a spinning buzzsaw into crowds of demons. It's a smart twist that makes fights feel just as fast, but way more deliberate. Plus, you still get all the ridiculous firepower you'd expect, like a machine gun that blasts out bone shards. Of course, it wouldn't be Doom without things getting even bigger. Before long, you're piloting a giant mecha slayer to slug it out with skyscraper-sized titans, stomping tanks, and shattering bridges on the way. Then, just when you think it can't get any crazier, you hop onto a cybernetic dragon, soaring through the skies and torching hellish airships in massive aerial battles. These moments aren't just for show either. The gameplay stays sharp, whether you're throwing fists the size of cars or dodging cannon fire at breakneck speed. Even with all the spectacle, the game isn't just one long roller coaster. The open-ended siege maps let you slow things down a bit, explore for upgrades, and experiment with new weapons like a chain-firing cannonball launcher. The game seems packed with variety without ever feeling bloated, mixing brutal action with clever exploration and even some surprise puzzle solving. With a full range of difficulty options and new ways to customize how you play, it's shaping up to be a Slayer fantasy anyone can jump into, whether you're a longtime fan or diving into Doom for the first time. Up next, we have Trench Tales. Dropped into a world that looks part Warzone, part fever dream, Trench Tales throws you straight into the dark heart of a twisted version of World War I. You're a lone fighter, pulled into this broken land for reasons even you don't fully understand, and survival depends on more than just your trigger finger. Between narrow trenches, crumbling castles, and eerie swamps, every step feels like it's leading you deeper into a mystery you're barely ready for. Along the way, you unlock strange powers, like slowing down time, seeing through walls, and blasting enemies with raw energy, giving you new ways to outthink and outfight the undead soldiers that haunt these battlegrounds. The weapons you carry are just as important as the powers you unleash. Trench Tales offers a whole arsenal, from old-school handguns to massive heavy weapons, and every piece can be customized to fit your playstyle. Every choice matters in a world where death doesn't just reset your progress, it hits your resources too. Strategic thinking is built into every fight, and picking the right tool for the job is the difference between barely surviving and walking away with full pockets. But it's not just the combat that pulls you in. The story behind Trench Tales is packed with layers of mystery, deception, and dark revelations. Every battle, every twisted landscape you explore, peels back a little more of the truth about who brought you here and why. There's a real weight to the choices you make, and the deeper you dig, the more the line between reality and nightmare starts to blur. With its moody Gothic style, rich atmosphere, and intense tactical gameplay, Trench Tales looks ready to deliver a dark and unforgettable journey for anyone willing to step into the unknown. Coming up next, we have Lost Soul Aside. The game has been in the works for a long time, and now it's finally almost here. Launching May 30th, 2025, this action RPG puts you in the shoes of Kaser, a young fighter on a desperate mission to save his sister after her soul is stolen by interdimensional invaders called the Voidrax. He's not alone, though. Kaser's backed up by Arena, a shape-shifting dragon that can transform into different weapons, giving the combat a wild, fast-paced edge. Originally part of Sony's China Hero project, Lost Soul Aside grew into something big enough that Sony decided to fully publish it themselves. The gameplay leans hard into stylish action, with a heavy focus on fast combos, quick dodges, and switching fighting styles on the fly. If you're a fan of games like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, or Ninja Gaiden, this one's absolutely hitting those same high-speed notes. On top of that, the visual style blends fantasy and realism in a way that feels really sleek. You can tell the game took inspiration from Final Fantasy 15, but it's got a sharper, more intense vibe all its own. Plus, a lot of attention has gone into the little details, right down to designing Kaser's outfit based on real-world fashion before bringing it into the game. With a story that's part sci-fi, part emotional rescue mission, Lost Soul Aside looks like it's offering a mix of heart, heavy action, and a world that's just as beautiful as it is dangerous. And if you've been waiting for a stylish new action RPG to dive into, this one's definitely worth keeping an eye on. Next on the list, we have The Midnight Walk. Sometimes a game hits you with a look so distinctive that you have to stop and ask yourself, wait, is this actually the game? That's exactly what happened with The Midnight Walk, a surreal, cozy horror adventure coming May 8th to PlayStation 5 and PC. At first glance, it looks like a stop-motion animated film, something you'd expect from Mad God or a classic Tool video. But what you're seeing is all real-time gameplay, built from hundreds of hand-sculpted models that have been 3D scanned into the world. You step into the role of the Burnt One, a strange, fragile figure who literally crawls out of a grave to start their journey down the Midnight Walk, a lonely, eerie highway where light is fading and darkness creeps in. Alongside you is Potboy, a tiny creature with a flame on his head who helps you light torches, fend off monsters, and solve puzzles. There's some stealth, some light combat, including a weapon that fires lit matches, and even a dedicated button just to close your eyes and listen to the world around you. Moonhood Studios has built the game around detailed binaural audio, so headphones are definitely recommended for the full experience. Despite the cozy label, things do get unsettling. Monsters range from stitched-up mutants to spider-like horrors and raging slug creatures, each feeling like something out of a beautifully crafted nightmare. Inspirations like Over the Garden Wall, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and David Lynch are definitely in the DNA here. But The Midnight Walk still carves out its own identity. Strange, heartfelt, and completely unforgettable. Moving forward, we have Blades of Fire. When you first pick up the controller, it's easy to think you know exactly what you're getting into. Big swings, a close-up third-person camera, a young companion tagging along. It feels like a familiar blend of God of War and a Souls-like. But the more time you spend with it, the clearer it becomes that Mercury Steam's new project isn't just stitching together ideas from elsewhere. It's building something unique around a surprisingly personal connection. The weapons you create, destroy, and rebuild over the course of a brutal fantasy adventure. Blades of Fire drops you into a world straight out of a lost 80s fantasy movie, packed with bulky warriors, bizarre creatures, and an evil queen who's cursed the land. Combat is weighty and deliberate, with every face button tied to a different directional attack. Reading an enemy's stance and responding with the right strike can literally tear them apart. But beyond the fights, the real standout is how you forge your weapons. Every sword, axe, and spear is handcrafted at an anvil, not just through menu tweaks, but a full-on smithing minigame that demands skill, patience, and a bit of luck. Every weapon feels earned, and losing one after death feels like losing a part of your journey, not just another item. There are still some question marks. The world and story feel a little by the numbers so far, and some of the systems could use a little polish. But underneath it all, there's a strong foundation here. Blades of Fire takes a lot of inspiration from the greats, but the way it leans into craftsmanship, tactical combat, and meaningful loss gives it a soul that's very much its own. If Mercury Steam can keep that momentum across the full 60+ hours they're promising, this could turn into something pretty special. Next up, we have JDM Japanese Drift Master. There's just something special about nailing a perfect drift. Tires screeching, engine howling, that feeling when the car glides through a corner like it was made for it. That thrill sits at the center of a new racer that blends realistic handling with a forgiving enough touch to keep things fun. Set across roads inspired by real-world Japan, every mountain pass and neon-lit city street feels like a playground for mastering the art of sideways driving. The open world is massive, packed with hundreds of kilometers of winding tracks and busy streets to explore. It's based on a fictional region that channels the spirit of Honshu, complete with changing weather, a full day and night cycle, and a soundtrack that sets the perfect vibe. Story beats are delivered through hand-drawn manga pages that bring a cool, personal style to the journey, while licensed cars from legends like Mazda, Nissan, and Subaru wait to be tuned, customized, and pushed to the limit in drift battles, grip races, and other challenges across the map. What really makes it click is how good it feels behind the wheel, whether you are using a controller, wheel, or even a keyboard. The physics strike that perfect middle ground between believable and fun, never punishing, but always rewarding when you hit that sweet spot. With a huge world to explore, a deep respect for Japanese car culture, and a story that gives a little more heart to the drifting scene, this one feels like a love letter to everyone who's ever dreamed of owning the mountain roads. Moving up next, we have Deliver at All Costs. Sometimes a simple delivery job spirals into pure chaos before you even realize what's happening. Set in 1959 during the age of rock and roll and atomic anxiety, Deliver at All Costs puts you in the shoes of Winston Green, a hot-headed courier with a shady past. What starts as weird cargo runs quickly turns into wild destruction as Winston barrels through towns causing all kinds of trouble just trying to get the job done. Gameplay is all about creating havoc across semi-open environments, whether you're behind the wheel of different vehicles or hoofing it on foot. Every mission throws something new at you, like balancing a ticking bomb or dragging a giant fish across town while the locals react in unpredictable ways. The world feels alive enough to push back against your madness, and the variety of mission styles keeps the pace feeling fresh as you carve your path of destruction. Beneath all the smashed storefronts and angry mobs, there's a story about Winston's slow unraveling, split into 3 acts packed with quirky characters and sharp dialogue. With a strong 1950s vibe layered through the visuals, soundtrack, and even the radio ads, Deliver at All Costs looks like a blast for anyone who wants their action games a little more ridiculous and a lot more destructive. Up next, we have Out of Sight. Waking up in a strange mansion is terrifying enough, but for Sophie, it's even worse. She's blind, and the only way she can see is through the eyes of her stuffed teddy bear. Out of Sight drops you straight into this unsettling situation, where every creaky floorboard and wrong step could mean getting captured and dragged back into the darkness. It's a horror game that leans heavy on atmosphere, with a chilling sense of dread around every corner. The gameplay blends first and second-person perspectives in a really unique way, letting you view the world through Teddy's eyes while navigating the mansion's dangerous halls. You'll have to rely on your instincts and careful movement to survive, sneaking past captors who are always listening for the slightest sound. Along the way, you piece together a tragic story hidden inside the walls, where reality and illusion blur so tightly that even you start second-guessing what's real. With emotional voice acting, strong psychological horror elements, and a focus on survival over combat, Out of Sight feels like the kind of game that sticks with you long after the credits roll. It's not just about escaping the mansion. It's about facing the fear of the unknown when you have almost nothing to rely on but hope. Coming up next, we have the Precinct. Sometimes the city you're trying to protect feels just as dangerous as the criminals running loose in it. Set in 1983, the Precinct drops you into the neon-soaked streets of Averno City as rookie cop Nick Cordell Jr., a guy trying to clean up the town while dealing with the shadow of his father's unsolved murder. It's a gritty, open-world sandbox where gangs rule the neighborhoods, and every chase could end with your squad car wrapped around a streetlight. The action is split between foot patrols and high-speed vehicle pursuits, letting you respond to everything from petty crimes to full-blown bank heists. You can approach situations your own way too, calling in backup, setting up spike strips, or handling business solo if you're feeling brave. The city itself feels alive, packed with unpredictable crimes, shifting gang control, and a full day and night cycle that keeps things moving, whether you're chasing down suspects or piecing together the bigger conspiracy. With destructible environments, a deep support system, and a sharp 80s noir vibe dripping from every alleyway and broken storefront, the Precinct looks like the perfect mix of classic cop movie energy and modern open-world chaos. If you've been waiting for a game that lets you live out your high-speed, neon-lit law enforcement fantasy, this one is absolutely worth keeping an eye on. Next on the list, we have Empyreal. Every now and then, a game comes along that feels like it's reaching for something bigger, and Empyreal looks like it's doing just that. Built around a massive ancient monolith packed with cosmic nightmares and mysteries, this action RPG throws you into a surreal fight for transcendental revelation. Expect glowing weapons, space magic, and a whole lot of heavy questions about existence as you dive deeper into a place humanity was probably never meant to touch. Combat looks fast and intense with a style that leans into melee action, but still leaves room for magic and weird powers. Instead of just towering beasts, a lot of the battles seem to focus on enemies close to your size, which gives it that anime rivalry feeling where every swing matters. There's a strong Destiny influence in the armor and world design, but everything here feels a little more raw, a little more dangerous. Like every step forward could open up a new reality or break you entirely. Empyreal is targeting a May 2025 launch, and if you're into stylish RPGs that mix tight action with existential storytelling, this one looks worth keeping on your radar. Between the striking neon visuals and the promise of facing down the secrets of existence, it's shaping up to be a wild ride through the unknown. Moving forward, we have Revenge of the Savage Planet. Getting fired mid-flight while you're stranded light years from home sounds like a nightmare, but in Revenge of the Savage Planet, it somehow turns into one of the most fun setups of the year. This third-person action adventure cranks up the chaos with colorful alien worlds, goofy creatures, and a toolkit full of bizarre weapons. Whether you're diving in solo or bringing a friend along for the ride, there's no shortage of weirdness and exploration waiting around every corner. The game plays like a mix of Metroidvania exploration and over-the-top shooter action. You'll be climbing cliffs, unlocking new gear, and revisiting old areas to uncover secrets with gadgets like lava guns, water blasters, and slippery goo launchers. Combat gets messy fast in the best way possible, with bright explosions, environmental traps, and a full arsenal of creative tools to play around with. Add in a second player and the chaos doubles, even if only the host keeps their progression. The game is turning up to be a wild ride for anyone who likes their sci-fi games packed with color, humor, and plenty of secrets to uncover. It's one of those rare games that looks just as fun to get lost in alone as it does when you're causing total mayhem with a buddy. Next up, we have Roadcraft. It is one thing to build something from scratch, but fixing what has been wrecked takes a whole different kind of skill. That is the heart of a new simulation that hands you the keys to a disaster recovery company and a fleet of heavy machinery. Whether you are clearing out debris, patching up broken roads, or hauling massive equipment back into place, every job feels like you are breathing life back into a world that nearly fell apart. The terrain itself fights you every step of the way. You are not just driving over mud, sand, or shattered asphalt, you are reshaping it with your bulldozers, cranes, and pavers. Every vehicle has its own feel, from the rumbling weight of a transporter moving a load of gear to the precision of a cable layer reconnecting vital power grids. With over 40 unlockable machines and a detailed physics system crafted by the creators of MudRunner and SnowRunner, every mission feels gritty, grounded, and genuinely satisfying. Beyond the nuts and bolts, there is a whole world to save. 8 massive maps filled with abandoned factories, flooded dams, and ruined solar fields wait for you and your crew to bring them back online. You will manage convoys, run recycling plants, and even plot out routes to avoid obstacles. Whether you are tackling it solo or teaming up with 3 friends in co-op, there is always another wreck to fix and another challenge to conquer. Moving up next, we have RailGods of Hysterra. Some games just have a weird, wonderful vibe you cannot shake, and this one is riding that crazy train all the way to something special. In a world where survival depends on a monstrous, tentacled locomotive called a RailGod, you are not just battling enemies and looting supplies, you are feeding your own creeping madness. Blending Diablo-style top-down combat with base building and Lovecraftian horror, this eerie survival game feels like a fever dream in the best way possible. At the heart of the experience is your RailGod, an eldritch machine that doubles as your home and your lifeline. Every carriage becomes a part of your moving base where you craft, cook, and build workbenches to survive the nightmare plains. As you scavenge and fight, you will also manage your sanity, a unique twist where too much madness can scramble your inventory and leave you fumbling for the right tools. Powering up your train and unlocking devastating Godkeeper skills keeps the loop fresh, whether you are teleporting across the battlefield or unleashing blasts of cosmic energy. The deeper you push into the haunted world, the more it gets under your skin. Limited space forces you to plan every upgrade carefully, making your RailGod feel like a living, breathing thing. Even in a pre-alpha state, the world oozes a heavy Lovecraftian atmosphere that sets it apart from the usual survival fare. It is brutal, bizarre, and completely compelling, and it already feels like one of the most original survival experiences out there. And finally, we have Hordes of Hunger. The stench of death hangs thick over Myra's homeland, and the only way out is to carve through the nightmare one battle at a time. In this dark fantasy world, survival means adapting fast, upgrading smarter, and slashing through endless hordes hungry for your blood. Blending the fast-paced combat of a hack and slash with roguelike progression, this is a brutal fight where every defeat only makes you deadlier on the next run. New battlegrounds and enemy types keep the action intense as you sprint, dodge, and smash your way through ever-shifting arenas. Each victory feeds into stronger abilities, better gear, and a deeper arsenal of special attacks you can customize to match your style. Whether you are stacking heavy weapons for pure destruction or crafting a build focused on agility and spells, there is real depth in how you evolve with every attempt. It stays true to the survivor's-like spirit while pushing you to master its fast, heavy-hitting combat. Story moments threaded between the chaos bring a surprising weight to the world, with voice-acted interludes pulling you deeper into Myra's desperate fight. Hordes of Hunger is not just about swinging a sword until your arms fall off. It is about smart choices, quick reflexes, and a burning drive to break a curse that feels almost alive. It already looks like a sharp, savage twist on a genre that is still evolving. So, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. Don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified when I upload new content. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And check out these other videos you might like. See you in the next one.